So here's an assortment of the NGK plugs that I've used on some mowers, and you can see these are the BPR5ES plugs. Two of them are still boxed, and this one was a different one, the D8EA. And so what I ran into, this one here, you know, this is one I had used on a John Deere 170 on a past video, and it took me what, 3 different videos to troubleshoot everything, and it came down to being a faulty plug was one of the main problems. Now this one, you know, when I first take it out of the box, you put it in, and I was like, well, you know, it's a new plug. You know, when I'm troubleshooting everything, it can't be the plug. It's just brand new, right? So you don't really know. This one came off of a friend's mower. He brought it over saying, man, it's a Honda engine, and it takes 5, 6, 7 pulls to pull it. My wife can't even start it anymore, and he has to really pull it hard for 5, 6, 7 times to finally get it to start, and then it would run rough. And I looked it over, cleaned it up, gave him a good tune up, and just out of curiosity was like, you know, I'm going to change this spark plug. And I used what, the E3 brand that you get from Lowe's. And it cranked up the first pull, right? So here we go. And he said he got this at Home Depot, which is kind of sad. I mean, this one I know I got off of Amazon, but it looks like all the fake ones they're starting to get through distributors now and into the big box stores. Now these two I've had, and notice the difference. I don't have the packaging to compare this to this, but there are some online when you look, and they say, okay, look out for, you know, certain deals here on the packaging, markings, and all that good stuff. You know, it's just so hard to tell. One guy, okay, this had the plastic cover on it. One guy showed where this had a cardboard cover. And the biggest thing I noticed with these, though, first thing I looked at, it was, see the tip on this. This is actually threaded, right? You can screw this tip off. And I know I had done this, I used them, you know, I'd unscrew this so that it would fit on what is it, some ATV I was working on, motorcycles that, you know, take that little small tip on there. But these are solid. So that was just a huge difference right there. Yeah, see that both of these have, you can see the hole there where it's threaded. Looking at the markings on it, you can't really tell. I mean, they look pretty centered, both of them. There was an article about one saying the color of the ceramics were a little different. Well, these are just about the same. I mean, you can't hardly tell. The finishing on them, I mean, they all look the same. And the washer, they say the fake ones, the washer just will come right off. Well, that looks pretty solid to me, right? But the biggest thing I noticed, the two things that I could see right off the bat, of course I already said the tip. This one's solid. If you look on the markings, okay, it has the BPR5ES stamped here, but it also says stamped Japan. When this one, It has the BPR5ES, just NGK. It doesn't say Japan or US or whatever. So I think a lot of these, they're saying they're not coming from Japan. They're assembled in the US. Does it say here? No, these are assembled in Taiwan. No, Thailand. So a lot of these, and I'm sure they have multiple plants that these are coming out of. You know, these are Thailand. I've seen some that they're assembled in the US. I have no idea. I wish I would have saved the packaging on these. But right off the bat, I mean, those are the two things that I saw that was the major difference, right? Everything else looked pretty much the same. So I'm wondering, well, are the fake ones, are they just getting better at making the fake ones? You know, making them look the same? Or since they have multiple, you know, assembly plants that these are being shipped out of, I mean, worst case, I guess, is NGK just needs to step up on their quality control or something, because these were really bad. This one, I just switched over to a different brand and the mower started right up, you know. This one was in that John Deere, had the Kawasaki engine in it, and man, I was going around in circles trying to troubleshoot the thing. And I was just, I guess, taking it for granted. I was just expecting this is a new plug, it's going to be good, right? But not anymore. I don't know. It's, until I hear different or start hearing getting some different performance out of these things, I'm probably not going to be using NGK plugs anymore. And they used to be my go-to plugs. Whenever I'm doing a Kawasaki engine or a Honda engine, I put NGKs. And with Briggs & Stratton, I'd put a Briggs & Stratton or a Champion. And, you know, I don't know. That's kind of sad, but that was my experience with them. So, and I'm going to go back. I have an ATV back there that I just charged the battery up, and it was kind of going through the same thing that I went through with this, that John Deere with the Kawasaki. And sometimes it would start, and all of a sudden it would just die, right? And other times you just can't get it to start. So I'm going to pull that NGK plug out of there and replace it with a different plug and see if it fires up. So yeah, worst case, they're getting really, really good at counterfeiting them now. Or the other worst case is NGK just really needs to step up their quality control, because they're losing customers. They're about to lose my customers for sure. So that's my 2 cents worth. Just, you know, I don't know what to tell you. If you're having trouble, if you put a new plug in something in your mower or riding mower or something, and you're still getting, you know, crappy performance out of it, check those plugs. And sad to say, you know, a lot of guys are saying, well, if you get them off of eBay or Amazon, sure, you know, they're suspect. But now this one came from Home Depot. So, you know, sorry to say, you know, I don't know what to tell you, because it's so hard if you just sit here and get one off the shelf to really tell what's wrong with it. But the first thing I look at is the tip here and the marking. If it says Japan on it, nah, because they're not coming from Japan. Not like these. I mean, the stamping's different, and these little codes right here, and I don't know what the codes mean. I mean, you'd have to contact NGK to find out this little 4-digit code here, you know, to know if it's valid or not. Yeah, but who's going to take the time to have to call NGK every time you want to check a code? That's kind of a pain in the ass, isn't it? but I just look at the tip and the markings. So, well, that's it. So just buyer beware. Hopefully this will get straightened out soon, and we can go back and be confident that these NGK plugs are going to perform like they should. Because right now I definitely have my doubts. So keep your eye out. And look online. I mean, there's a lot of info online, and a lot of them they're really a lot of the information, these guys are using iridium, the NGK iridiums that they're putting in their cars. But with my experiences, it's this BPR5ES that are getting put in mowers. This is the one I'm having trouble with. Yeah, so if you Google fake NGK spark plugs, and there's a lot of stuff that pops up. I mean, you see these videos that pop up. I watched a couple of these, and a lot of them seem to be focused on the iridium plugs going into cars. But it also, you know, applies to mowers and stuff. There's a few down here. The counterfeit report. Yeah, so you can kind of go through, and they try to give some stats or something, but not a whole lot of info. I mean, you can definitely check it out, and because a lot of them, they do give pointers on, you know, of identifying, you know, the real versus fake. And some of them here, okay, like the brand name is not properly centered. Well, this is the real one, so it is properly centered. The coating and what else? The gaskets over here. And the number that's stamped here, and it's kind of vague, and it is something to watch out for. But if you don't know the codes, I mean, well, how do you know it's fake or not? But I'll show you what I found. But you can see here, this is off-centered. The coating on it, original and old style original. And the gaskets don't seem to be as tight. Now, I don't know how old this is, because the ones that I look at, if you don't have them side by side, it's hard to tell what's what. Oh, here was another one, a guy that gave a review on Amazon concerning this stuff. And you can see it doesn't have it's just a flat top on it. What else? Something about the electrode. This says Japan. And if you look back, see up here, it doesn't look like that's centered, right? So there's a lot of stuff online you can click on and kind of get an idea of what's going on. So, okay, well, that's it. Just a quick information video there. So just thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video. DR7EA. What does it have stamped on here? There's the DR7EA Japan. But this one did have, well, this didn't have the tip on it. If it did, it was taken off. But it has Japan. I'm going to switch this one out for a different plug and see what happens. But I would almost bet you. Alright, so here's that NGK that I just yanked out of there. I found an older plug to stick in there. Let's see if it... Usually this thing is really hard to start. But let's see. What do you know? Never run that smooth since I had that plug in there.